120 seconds. 110 seconds. 100 seconds. 90 seconds. 80 seconds. 70 seconds. 60 seconds. 50 seconds. 40 seconds. 30 seconds. 20 seconds. 10 seconds.
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Friends, once again, it's time to get our talk on. It's Morning Talk with me, your host, J. Stan McCauley, along with the champions of talk. This morning's talk champion in the house is none other than Cleo Duke-Wright. Morning, Miss Cleo. How you doing?
I'm doing great this morning, Stan. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Because I mean, I could. Oh my stars.
But what good would it do?
What good would it do? You know, the power went out here, so everything reset. Cameras went back to normal. Such is life. How was your week?
My week was extremely busy.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely busy. And I closed out my condo, and that was just such a relief. Now I have to get out of that apartment, and that's going to be another hassle. But I looked at everything this morning. I looked around and I said, well, you know, it's not so bad. Take one step at a time and it'll get done. And then at the end, it'll be okay. 1st of April, I'll be in my new place. And that'll be good.
April 1st is the big day then.
That's what I'm hoping. I'll be out of there. But I don't know if all this stuff will be out of there yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll definitely be gone. And hopefully the landlord will say, well, Cleo, I'll give you time to clean that out. You know. And maybe he won't. So if he won't, maybe he'll have to keep it. So
you gonna let him keep your stuff?
Huh?
Are you gonna let him keep your stuff?
Well, believe me, by April 1st, everything that I really want will be out of that building. But I have so much of the bookstore and then living there too and trying to compensate for what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
You buy all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
So now what do you do with it?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it to, some of it to Goodwill, some of it here, some of it there.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that someone will buy my stove that I just bought not so long ago.
So you bought a new stove.
Yes,
So the stove is in the place you're at now, in your current
yes,
house.
yes. And you know, the kitchen that I had didn't have anything in it, no cabinets, no anything. So I bought things to put things on.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I bought, the more stuff I got, and it just still was a mess. And so, like baker's benches, you know,
Mm-hmm.
2 of those. I'd love to give those away to somebody who wants them, but
Mm-hmm.
I can always take it. I'll take it someplace,
All right. Well,
you know.
so I guess your plans. I was gonna say, like, what are your plans for the weekend and the week? But I guess your plans until you move is packing,
It's
more packing,
and more packing.
and more packing,
And more packing, right.
and more packing.
Yes, I have friends that, thank God for friends, thank God, that have offered to help me move.
These are good friends. You don't want like friends dropping stuff.
No, these are very good friends.
Too big
and-
breaking more stuff to help. Watch. Oh, that was a gift from my grandmother. Don't worry about it. I never liked it anyway.
Well, my church family are going to come in, and
Uh-huh.
some of them are going to help me move out of the place. But if I can't take something, I just can't take something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to. I've been blood pressure's been up and down.
Yours.
Yes, so I can't do that. That's it. Keep it. I don't want to go through crazy stuff, you know. And then I was in that accident. Someone
Yeah.
rear-ended me on 84.
How's your? So your car's being worked on. Is that?
My car they totaled my car. So now I have to get another car. I have a rental. But God's good. A friend knew a friend, and he's selling me his daughter's car. And he happens to be a car dealer.
Uh-huh.
And he's a very good friend of hers, and took this car from his garage and fixed it up for me and cleaned it up, and doesn't have that many miles on it, you know. So it'll last me for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm saying that's all I need, but you know, who knows?
That's a shame. I liked your little car.
Yes.
Yeah. What did you have? You had like a little neat.
I had a Sportage, a Kia Sportage,
Yeah.
a stick shift. And you don't see
standard transmission.
Yes.
You'd like the standard?
Oh, yes, I did. I love the standard, but my son said, please don't get another standard. You're getting too old.
Well, standard is nice if you like to drive. Like if you like to drive. There's not. To me, there's nothing like the standard.
Yeah, and
Because you're working, you know,
you're constantly,
clutching, shifting, and you get the sense that you're actually driving the car.
Well, when I was in my 50s, my friends, first of all, we all had standards in the end of the 60s. So all my girlfriends, we always had standards. And as they got older, they all turned to automatics. And I was the only one with a standard. And they said, Cleo, don't you think it's about time that you got an automatic? You know you're getting older. Now I'm way older than that now, and I'm still driving the standard. But I guess that's gonna change.
Well, we can get you an electric car. Get you a Tesla.
This thing starts with a button. I got in the car and they gave me this thing, and I said, I want, but they didn't tell me how to start the car. I said, how do you start this car? What do you do? And I had too much pride to go in there and say, how do you start the car? So I said, I got to figure out how to start the car. And I'm looking all around. There's no thing for the key, you know. So I saw this round button, and I pushed that button. and there's a sign that said, "Step on the brake and push the button, and the car will start." I said, "Oh," so that's what I've been doing. You get it in and out of the car much faster. You lock the car. You don't need a key, and I get in and out so much faster than I did before. So I'm beginning to like it. I'm beginning to like it a little bit. I don't know what the car that I'm gonna look at today. I don't know what that's.
Yeah, that's a real pain. So you have like the double whammy of pain here.
Yes.
Moving and car trouble, like
Yes.
car crisis, because you got to get your car's totaled and you're moving.
Yes, and you gotta drive. I'm the one that was hit the person, and I had to do all this work. Go here, go there. You can't have that rental car until But if you don't know how it goes, they could tell you anything. That's why I don't like to talk to car dealers. And he says, you can only have this car for this long. And then that's all I could give it to you for. Now, I had no car. I had no way to get to work. And he's taking the rental car away from me.
No.
But they can't do that.
Who is this? Who's making these decisions? The insurance company?
That was the insurance company. The insurance company that hit me. Their person hit me.
Oh, okay. So the insurance company of the guy who hit you.
Yeah.
They're saying you can only have the car for.
Yeah, and for instance, they've given you no money. You have no way to. They can't just take the car away from you. So you call them and say this. So I'd call and I'd say that. Mm-hmm. Then you do this. So I called and said that. I called my cousin Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
I said I was in an accident. You call this lawyer. You call this lawyer. So I called the lawyer. He says, "Oh yes, I could help you. I had a horrific headache.
Okay.
I didn't hit my head, but I had a horrific headache. Mm-hmm. You call this lawyer, and you do what he says." So I called the lawyer, and he got me set up for. I did hurt. The back didn't hurt at first, but then it started hurting a couple of days later. So he sent me to some therapy. He sent me to this. So I'm saying, Alan, all right, I'm going to this thing. I'm going to this lawyer, and he didn't have anything to do with the car. He said, just do everything he says, period, and the story, that's it. You'll be okay. Take me out to dinner down the road.
So he has a lot of faith and trust in this particular lawyer. Then
he has a lot of trust in the lawyer. Yes.
If you need a lawyer, if this one doesn't work out, I'm sure it will, because of course Alvin made the recommendation.
Alvin, yeah. Both lawyers and my closing lawyer, he sent me to a very good lawyer. Here, call this person. Mm-hmm. Alvin gives orders. So I said, all right, I'll call that person.
Do not question my.
And he took very good care of me. He took very good care of me. So I'm very happy that I have a person like Alvin in my life. Mm-hmm,
He's a good man. He's a good man. Yeah.
Yes, even though sometimes we don't agree.
Well, that's the case. That's the case in life with most people. There's always going to be someone that you don't necessarily agree with.
Yeah, I walked into the lawyer's office and she said, "Oh, Alvin Bingham." I said, "Yes." I said, "He's my cousin by marriage." She said, "Oh, he's my uncle. He's known me all my life. He spends every holiday with us." He's my Uncle Alvin. I said, "Oh, okay, but we don't always agree." She said, "We have some pretty rough arguments sometimes, but."
Now, I think he enjoys the art of discourse.
Oh yes, he's very good at that. He's very good at that. Mm-hmm. So is my my employer, very good at that. Sometimes my head is spinning.
Yeah, your head start to hurt. It's like your head is squeezing on you.
Yeah, stop now. Don't say any more. Well, it's blah, 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 blah. Everybody, sometimes I think, some people think everybody is a criminal. Everybody in the world is going to cheat you. I'm listening to someone that they sound like it sounds correct to me, and I'm listening and I'm reading and I'm doing all this thing. And I say, okay. Oh, and there's always so much more. So much more. Why can't I just say okay? Or why can't you just tell me the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have to play the game with me all the time? I don't know.
I just tell people, I get in these long discussions with people during the day, and I was thinking last night, I have to let people. I think you just tell them right up front. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour. It's so that you can let them know how long you can spend with them on the phone. Because at some point they start to repeat themselves, and they go into long-windedness. And that, not that I should be one to talk about someone being long-winded, but you could burn through 6 hours of a day just in phone conversation. And of course, while you have substantive conversation, you don't get anything done.
But it never ends, does it?
No.
It just, I don't know.
It'll make your head hurt.
So I said, I have this situation. I have these situations. I think people are tired of hearing about my situation. I'm going to stop talking about my situation because they got situations of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to just, that's when I started to calm down. When I was really, I said, everybody don't want to hear your conversation. I said, how many times did you tell this story today, Cleo? How many people have you? I said, no, that's enough. That's enough. Because I get tired of hearing other people's stories.
Uh-huh.
Especially people who are trying to fix things.
Mm.
They're fixing it. Or people who look at you as though, not that you didn't have any sense, but that they have more knowledge, they probably do, than you. They take care of you. Sometimes I feel like they're carrying me like I used to carry my children through situations. I said, oh my God, please stop. But I did a win-win in all those situations that people were trying to help me. And I'm so very, very grateful to each and every one of them. Even though I went through it, and they were enjoying themselves because they like this kind of like Alvin. They like this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It did me well. So I'm glad that I sat and I listened and tried to understand.
Yeah, a lot of people want to help. I think there's like that. There are those people who want to help, who genuinely want to help you. They see your plight and they want to help. And then there are the people who need help. They see you and you're someone who perhaps can help them.
Well, that's usually the situation that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who needs help. I remember when all this situation first started, and I tried to think of who could give me a ride, who could come and get me, or who could do this or who could do that. And this is what it came up to be. Zero, because I'm the car. I am the car.
You're the rescue. You're the life star.
Right. There was nobody with a car. I was the car. So I said, oh my goodness. None of them have a car. So I had to sort of wing it on my own for a little while. Mm-hmm. But I realized that this situation has to change a little bit. That I have to have other people, not get rid of the people that I have, but other people who can
give you a hand.
Give me a hand every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes the doer of good deeds needs a good deed done for them.
And it's just, And the few people that did have cars, nobody answered their phone. You know, said, "Oh my goodness, what is it?"
They got a text alert. Oh, Cleo needs a ride. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's it's hard. I had one friend call me up one time. It was like almost midnight. They needed a ride to New Haven. New Haven? What do you call me midnight? Ride to New Haven. Of course, I'm on my way back from New Haven.
That's the friends that I know that have cars are they don't live in the same town that I live in. So I don't. You want to call anybody from out of town to take you up the street, to take you. So I didn't bother. Yeah. I didn't bother them, but they did come to the rescue anyway.
Well, it's not a crime to ask for help. Sometimes I think there are actually people who would be willing to help, but of course they don't know the plight that you're in. And just like you like to help people would love to help you. It's kind of, if you're a person who seems to always be helping other people, it's hard sometimes to call on them to help you.
Yeah. Well, you don't think of it. Mm-hmm. In some ways, you don't really think of calling anyone to help you. You just say, "Well, I'm going to go through this situation. I'm going to do it, do it myself." Mm-hmm. So those are the kind of things you got to get out of, because that's ridiculous.
It is. It's hard sometimes to let go of the things, because people will come up with ideas and you're like, "Oh, I don't know if I don't think that'll work." But you asked them for help. So you have to let them actually do.
That's right.
You have to let them do the thing.
You gotta let people help you, even though it feels kind of funny. Mm-hmm. It feels strange to call people and say, "Could you help me?" It even feels strange me sitting here saying it. Can you help me? But many times you do need help. Even relatives, I have a hard time with that too. Mm-hmm. To say I need help.
All right, let's take a little jazz break. We'll be right back. Little Jay Hogarth off his new album. Stick and stay. Don't go anywhere. Morning Talk.
every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their charity. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now, more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It is time to clear the air and vote for a mayor who is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. Stan McCauley. I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Declare your independence from the plantation of party politics and free your political mind.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and
Well,
you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right, my friends, it's time to get our talk on. Once again, we return. It's Morning Talk. I'm your host, Jason McCauley. Along with me, the champions of talk. There they are on your screen. Jonathan Small, Cacique, and Dr. Maya Bowen. Here today, of course, is Cleo Duke-Wright, talk champion. In the background, Jay Hogart. Check him out at jhogart.com. Holy Spirit Consciousness. That's the song displayed in the background. The album is very, very, very nice.
What'd you just say?
I said the album is very, very, very nice. It's nice. It's nice. Harvard politics is happening.
Harvard politics?
Yeah.
I guess it is.
A lot going on.
Certainly is.
There's I think there's 8 people in the race.
8?
8 people running for mayor. So far.
Who else came? Who else came in?
Let me see if I can name them all.
Because there were 4. Wasn't there 4?
Oh, originally there was only 1, but of course that changed, and now there's 8. So you have former judge, former state senator Eric Coleman. You have Arunan Arulampalam. You have Nick. Why can't I think of Nick's last name? Nick LeBron, currently a city councilman. You have Leonardo Dunn.
I hadn't heard him before.
He's a young man.
Oh, the young.
Yeah,
Okay.
The preacher.
Yes.
You have Tracy Funny. You have Giselle Jacobs. You have Senator John Fonfara. That's 7. And then I'm in the race. So that makes 8.
That's 8.
There will be a Republican, most likely, in the race. That'll be 9. Then you'll have maybe the Libertarians. We'll put somebody in. So that would be, if the Libertarians put someone in, that would probably be Dr. Lewis. Aaron Lewis. That's 8, 9, 10. 10. So we did 10 people, which is very interesting because if everyone is allowed to be in debates, 3 minutes a piece is a half hour. So like one question before it goes all the way through everybody, there's a half hour. So a 1 hour event would mean 2 questions. It'd be 2 questions. So you'd have to have a 2 hour event, and you could ask 4 questions. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're going to do it. Television debates generally were rather short. Here, now I'm not talking like presidential stuff, because the presidential debates have had 9 people on stage for like primaries. The Democratic primary and the Republican primaries, the debates leading up to the primaries, had lots of people in them, but then they whittled down over time. So I guess it depends on the debate holders, the people having the debates, and then what's the criteria for the debates. So you as a constituent, as a voter, someone who's familiar with the political scene, you were on town committee for a short time, or
yeah, just a short
time.
Okay,
so you were on town committee. So what would you say should be like criteria for debating? Like how would you what would you use to say, okay, X person should be in the debate?
I think everybody should be in the debate.
So everyone who's running should be in the debate.
Everybody who's running and wants to be in the debate, I think, should be in the debate. Or you could split it where you have 5 people, and you said 10 people, right?
If I'd say by the time this thing gets really underway, there will have been 10 people submit paperwork to run for mayor. Now, they may not all stay to the very end, but I'm sure there will be at least 5 or 6 solid candidates in the debate, quote unquote viable candidates. And even with that,
I think they all should be in a debate, and I think if you haven't got the patience to sit there and listen to them, and I think they should be 2 hours long, so that you could get the 4 questions in. You might need an intermission. You might need an intermission, and then you go right back to it. If I'm an interested person who is interested in the political, who's gonna I'm trying to think of my words, who's gonna become mayor of Hartford, and I care about mayor of Hartford, I'm gonna sit through those debates.
I as a free speech advocate,
I'm not gonna say this is too long.
I think I think if people are running, you want to hear what they have to say. It doesn't matter really who they are, because as you mentioned, 2 hours. People sit through a 3-hour movie.
That's right. They can sit through. They can
go
sit
to the
through.
theater and sit through a 3-hour movie. Go to the theater and watch a 3-hour play.
Right. But it would be nice if the candidates were not too boring.
Well, that helps.
The
you
answers were not too boring.
Right. That helps you determine whether or not somebody's. Now, when you see how it's to me, I'll say it's stand, not necessarily the truth. To me, the candidates are applying for a job. They're applying for a job, and I think that the general public should ask the kind of questions that you would an employee, not treat the candidates like a king, where you hope they do something good for you. You curry favor with the king, but your employees you don't curry favor with them. You tell them what you want to be done.
That's not how people think, or most of the people I know think about candidates.
Mm-hmm.
They think I'm here and they're there, and I'm asking you for this, or not as I'm your boss. I expect to see this. I want to see this. You want my vote? This is what I want. This is what I want to see. And candidates don't talk to participants, talk to the general public as though they're applying for a job. They don't talk like they're applying for a job. Not really.
They talk like they have the job, and you're lucky to be in their air.
Yes.
Right.
So you gotta make them apply for the job.
Right. And I think that's one thing that's great about the debates.
You gotta be a mini.
Mm-hmm.
You're not walking over her, are you?
Well, yeah.
You apply for the job. You want her. You're a candidate. You want her favor. You want her favor.
Mm-hmm.
Now if Cleo walked up to you, well, who is she anyway? So you may not care whether I like you or not. But those people who have really shown that they really care about Hartford, that they have certain concerns, and that they can make a difference in your campaign, they act like they're applying for a job there.
When they go talk to union bosses,
yep,
they act like applicants.
Yep. It depends on who they're talking to and who they and where they are. They're gonna act the same way if they have a debate at Weaver as they would somewhere else. It's like the Hartford Public Library or some other place. Does a place, this is a question, does a place that they have the debate make a difference on attitude?
It makes a difference on attitude if you are a respecter of persons. If you are a respecter of persons, then it makes a difference. And that, I guess that might be kind of like a more Bible type of a thing, so I guess in a non-Bible speak, if you see certain people as being better than others, then it makes a difference. So like if a guy is wearing bummy clothes and looks a little bit disshuffled, do you treat him the way you treat the guy that just stepped out of the Rolls Royce or a Tesla wearing a $1,000 suit? And so
and the one that's in the tattered clothes probably is the smarter of the
right
two.
There you go. Right.
So you're making these judgments and you don't know who's the smart guy.
Right. He also has a Tesla, but someone rear-ended him and he tripped into the muddy water, and the only thing that he could put on was this tattered clothes. So he looks disshuffled, but he's not a disshuffled individual. He's
No.
so people when you have a respecter, when you're a quote unquote respecter of persons, or judge people by where they live or their class or their color or their,
but when some candidates, when they campaign and people come up and they really want to meet them, I really don't like the communication. I really don't like how the candidate is talking to the person who really is like thrilled to meet them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like haphazard, tell them what they want to hear, grin in their face. I really hate that grin. that special grin they have. They don't know when they put it out. Mm-hmm. They think it's welcoming, but it's a horrible grin they have. And they're talking to this maybe person who is not so politically astute, and they're just grinning and petting her like a dog, or a pet,
mm-hmm.
or treating them like a pet. I hate that, and our top official of the city
mm-hmm.
does that a lot of times. When I see him, and
do you think that is that
I really hate that.
Would it be considered? Is that considered condescending, or?
It's not condescending to the person he's talking to, because they don't recognize it, but it's condescending to me.
Okay.
When I'm looking at it,
mm-hmm.
and I'm seeing this, and the pat on the back or the pat on the head, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the person is acting, like they're not all that astute, you should treat them with just so much honor. You should still treat them like, I need you out, honestly, because not only coming out of your mouth, because that's not all you talk with.
You talk with your whole body.
And so
your eyes,
somebody else
everything.
Looking at it
mm-hmm.
would know that you're just talking out of your mouth, because your body is not saying what your mouth is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It doesn't match. It doesn't match, and it angers me. And there's another senator here who does that all the time. Go in and talk to you like you're a bunch of kindergarten people, and while his person who he comes with stands on the side and just looks on and says, "Oh, these dumb people." That's what I think. He may not be saying that, and he's in there. Yeah. Oh, Senator. Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. They never talk to me. I never talk to them. I never talk to them because I don't have anything to say to somebody like that. I don't have any. What am I going to say to him? What's he going to tell me? Grin in my face and say something stupid? No. I stay away from him. I just look at him and watch all the ladies just going up to him. Oh, there's Senator so-and-so. I said, and
so then people are treating their elected officials like they are sovereigns, kings, royalty.
Yes,
there you go.
yes,
They're like
they're
royalty as opposed to.
But if you sit them down, as soon as that man goes out the door and, they're complaining about the things that they should have complained about and talked to him about. You know what I mean? But if he comes in the door, they forget all that. They just, oh my gosh, he came here. He came to our center. He came to, oh my God. Oh, and he brought his sidekick.
The sidekick.
and everybody goes up and I'm saying, did you realize what these people are doing?
You get the royal trumpets blowing.
Yes. Pat him. I knew your mother, and I knew this, and I remember such and such. Oh, I know. I just, because I've seen him do other things that weren't so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And her, they did other things that weren't so nice and weren't so good for you. And you're standing up there. I don't need a cheerleader like that.
Well, ideally, you would hope that folk would treat everybody the same. People, you treat this. It's the longer you live, the more you appreciate the wisdom of the word, because it's real simple. Treat others like you want them to treat you.
That's right.
Boom. And if you do that and be honest with folk, you have to ever worry about anything.
Tell them the truth.
Tell them the truth. And the truth. And now, it ain't always something that somebody wants to hear, but at least they'll respect you because you told them the truth, and you run around lying to them.
Right. Tell them the truth. Tell them you can't do that because of I can't. That's not going to happen because such and such and such. I'm sorry. Maybe we can think of something else or blah 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 blah.
Right.
Talk about it. Maybe let's go here because the way you're saying it won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So let's kind of discuss it and see what will work. What will give you as much as we can give you, as much as you can get out of this that makes sense for the whole. Just say the truth. But they'd rather grin and tell ridiculous stories and then go behind your back and do all of that other stuff. Now you see why nobody talks to me, Stan. Nobody talks to me.
Well,
I am an outcast. So it says, Cleo, will you give me your recommendation? I said, you don't want my recommendation. You'll never get that job. No, you don't want my recommendation, no.
Well, I think that kind of honesty is missing in the discourse, and it's so necessary because it will cause people to be more present in their decision making, more circumspect. It's more, attentive to what's actually going on. Because if there's no one there to point out what the possible flaws are or why something isn't good, then you won't consider that. But because someone doesn't point it out, doesn't mean it goes away. It's just longer before you find out about it.
Yeah, well, I understand it. Many of us, including myself, are usually in a survival mode. So we're thinking about what we're going to put on the table with the paying the rent and paying the bills and that kind of thing. But if we ignore the political scene, those things that we are suffering from will get worse. They'll get worse.
Which streets get plowed first are political decisions.
Yeah.
What your children eat at school is a political decision. All these things. Which streets get worked on first when you're having sewer problems are political decisions. Most decisions are political decisions. Whether the library stays open until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whether the youth centers are closed on Saturday morning until noon, or whether they open early at 8. Political decisions. All of those are political decisions. So the people who say that, well, I don't get involved in politics, then you don't have a voice. You don't have a voice.
So what happens to you just happens to you.
Right. You
get
have
no voice, so you can complain, but what good would it do if you're not going to be active in it? I wasn't active for years. I'd go into voting booths and I might know one name. When my kids were little, I might know one name. I wouldn't know anything else. But those were the days where you just push down the lever, the Democratic lever, the Republican lever. Now you have to actually vote for people. I didn't know what was going on. And if I saw somebody I knew outside that was running, and I didn't know that they were running, I'd go inside and I would vote for them, and I knew nothing about it. And I don't ever want to be like that again. Because I see people going to the voting booths every election when I'm working the polls. All I want is, I just want to vote for a Democrat. That's all I want. I know when you were running the last time.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I just want to vote for the Democrats. And you were under the Republicans.
I was cross-endorsed, yeah.
Yeah. And, you really can't talk to them when you're working.
When you're right.
So, it just broke my heart because all they wanted was the Democrat. And so many. And then there were people ushering people in, helping them vote.
Right.
And
can you see the ballot? I think you want to circle this one right here. That's the one, right?
And you're allowed and you're allowed to go and help somebody if they don't know what, are not familiar. So that
well, these are the things that happen, as they say, unfortunately, and such is life.
And people want to vote well.
Yeah.
But, some people come in, they can't read.
Yeah, that's real.
That's real.
Mm-hmm.
They can't read. And so they ask their friend or they ask someone to come in and help them vote. And the information that they give the person that's helping them is so skimpy. So, they don't know the people who are on there. Last time when we had that long ballot, people just kept on voting. Had to give them, kept giving them and said, no, you can't vote for one down the line. You can just vote for one person in each row. You can't do,
Wow.
But they were voting all the way down the line, so it's
well, that would then spoil the ballot.
That's right.
So see, folks.
So you give them another ballot and
right.
you explain and.
But this is how folks say, well, how could they run out of ballots? If the ballot is significantly different than what people are used to, and half the ballots get spoiled or unusable, then you don't have the number of ballots that you thought you should have, plus the overage. Now, you run out of ballots, you got to go print ballots up. It creates nightmare.
A person could mess up a ballot 4 times. You just give them another one.
Mm-hmm.
And try to explain to them until they get it. You can't say you can't have any more ballots. You just give them another one.
All right. Stick and stay. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Morning Talk.
So my name is Nelky Maldonado.
My name is Ramon L. Arroyo.
And we know that Hartford Parent University provides good services and resources to parents in our communities, which are greatly needed because a lot of times our parents, they don't know where to go, how to get information, and being part of this program is essential to them in being successful in their children's education.
And I think that parents should get involved in their kids' education because it's very important. Education is, I always believe, is a success in life. If you got a good education, you can be very successful.
So we encourage our parents to please come join the program, ask lots of questions, and I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed.
How do you define evil? Is it the pedophile school administrator Or taxation without representation? Is it the gatekeeping community leaders who sell out the very people they are fighting for? Or is evil the politician that puts out lies and takes in cash? However you may classify evil, having to choose the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. Nowhere does this rule apply more than during an election for mayor. Choosing a candidate that is the lesser of two evils still leaves you with evil. No wonder so many people don't vote. It's time for constituents to flip the script and vote for a mayor you can trust. My name is J. Stan McCauley. I approve this message, and I am asking you for your vote. I, like you, am an independent thinker. So let's sit down and talk about my path to victory and why my plan for Hartford will work. Stop listening to the uninformed evil interests that tell you I can't win. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. It's time to leave the plantation of party politics and free your political mind.
Hi,
My name's J. Stan McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
All right. Okay, welcome back. It is Friday. It's open. It's an open forum. It's Friday. It's morning talk, and we kind of slow it down a little bit for Friday, and ease our way into the weekend. Cleo Duke-Wright is here, talk champion, and we're just having conversation, chilling out. Let's listen to the radio. They're talking about crime on one of the morning radio stations and crimes in the inner city. I think it was an okay conversation, but it lacks a certain perspective. And
A discussion on crime in the city.
it was a discussion on crime in the city, but like, you know, how bad crime is and why crime is bad. And of course, this was a more conservative radio program. So, of course, all crime was the fault of Democrats. Which is always so interesting to hear the blame game. When someone doesn't like a thing, they always blame they always blame it on some other entity.
Why the Democrats?
Because it's a political. This is a more conservative talk show that's Republican. So they blame the Democrats for crime in the city because many of the cities were controlled by Democrat mayors.
I don't think we should vote for anybody who plays the name game, the blame game.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should just scratch them and just, put them over to the side. We want to know about us. We don't want the
right. How are you gonna fix the problem? It really doesn't matter.
They have never fixed it.
Right.
It doesn't. It's not. It's really not fixable. We could lower it.
Well, you're in my camp right there because I've had this conversation
We can
ongoing
lower it, but
with Jonathan.
we're not gonna fix it. We're not gonna make a law or an ordinance or whatever that takes away crime.
Well, like you say, you're not going to make a law. The laws don't control people. Laws give you the ability to punish people.
Laws punish.
Right? They don't stop behavior.
They don't stop anything. Right.
Right. If you create, it's like, well, you know what? If we put the money in a steel box with a big combination lock, and we make the door like 2 feet thick, then our money will be safe from the average walker buyer. But the person who's intent on getting your money is going to get in there and rob you.
Somebody's going to be able to get through that door.
Doesn't care if there's a safe.
Someone's going to be able. So
we exploit the weakness and take your money. If someone's intent on doing something, they're going to do a thing. The criminals plan to be
it's brilliant.
That's what they are, criminals.
It's brilliant what we have done in the last 30 years with computers and all this wonderful things. Well, the criminals are getting smarter too. As we invent things, they're figuring out how they can get their part of your invention. How they could crack that nut here.
Mm-hmm.
We always get smarter together. Why is that? Yeah. You invent the internet and Facebook and all these things, and people are and the criminals are right there, doing their dirt.
Absolutely.
So you're not gonna ever.
They advance just like everyone else advances.
That's right. That's the right word. Advance. They advance just like everybody else advances. So you're not gonna get. But you could slow it up. You could. I really think that if you put God back in the picture, you could slow some of this stuff up.
Well, I absolutely positively agree with you. They take the standards away.
Yeah.
It's like taking guardrails off the road. If you take the guardrail off the road, then people can't see where the edge of the road is, and they're likely to drive off of it, especially at night. But as long as there's a guardrail and you can see where you're going, and God is that guardrail. And if you take him off, folks just do whatever they want, and anything is okay.
Anything is okay. There goes your morals, your honesty, everything. If you don't have scripture, so you don't really you don't really know how important it is, and you don't know how much it directs your life. If you've had that in your life, it stops you from doing a whole lot of things and causes you to do other things.
Yeah.
If you have that in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't have it in your life, it's scary. It's really scary when I listen to some of these young people with there is no God in their life. There is no spirituality in their life. And anything they want to do is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm moving somewhere else because I don't want to. I'll probably still see it, but not as much. A young man, people do bad things, but that doesn't necessarily mean the person by themselves basically is a bad person. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at this young person and you see all these beautiful things about the person. And yet he's killing himself or she's killing herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she has these wonderful children at home that are growing up without her. So it just hurts me. It hurts my heart when I see it, because when I look at people, I don't see bad people. I don't see negative people. I see regular people every single day who do good things.
Mm-hmm.
Who do good things and then turn around and do bad things.
Mm-hmm.
To hurt themselves. They're hurting themselves more than hurting anybody else.
Absolutely.
And it really is a sad thing to see.
Yeah, a moral compass is necessary.
Yes.
So that we have a sense of, direction, a sense of right and a higher a higher sense of right and wrong than us mere mortals, than people. Because, religion, understanding that there's a difference between religion, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, there's 4,000 different religions. We run out of time trying to name them all. But all of them are higher than the human. And whatever one people endear themselves to, they hold themselves accountable to this higher sense of authority, this higher sense of power, if you will. There's something greater than them. And if you take that away, then they become the standard. And other things become the standard. And now whatever you think is convenient becomes convenient. There's nothing to even help you get right. It's like being lost and you have no idea that you are lost. Like you're on a mission somewhere in space. There's no landmarks, no frames of reference. You just traveling along. And so you don't even know that you're off course. And that's how a lot of people's lives are, because there's nothing to convict them of wrong. Like, you're getting ready to break into something and your mind is telling you, this is wrong. If you get caught, you're going to get in big trouble. Maybe I should rethink this, But now we live in a society where, I'm going to take it. Everyone else is taking stuff. Why shouldn't I? Well, what if you get caught? And they can't pin it on me because, if I do this, that, and the third, all I have to do is just pay off the judge. People, they're not thinking that there's a consequence. And so I think higher authorities mean there's a consequence that I'm going to have to ante up for my action. If you get rid of all of those moral authorities, you get rid of legal authorities, and then you descend into chaos. So if the DA or the prosecutor is not going to prosecute you for a particular crime, then the criminal says, well, it's good. So you have people walking out of what? Walmarts and Home Depots with cart full of product. They're not paying, and then they don't care. They just walk right out and no one stops them. The security's not going to stop them. The police aren't going to prosecute them. It's just a free-for-all. And those kinds of things send horrible messages to the society. Just do whatever you want, and there's no consequence. It's very disastrous. So to me, that's more the problem than Republicans or Democrats. It's a people problem.
Yep. Absolutely. It is a people problem. And so what? My homeboy, he got killed over blah, 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 blah. He was supposed to get killed. Blah, blah, blah. And, it's crazy. It's crazy. If I get killed, so what? That's just the way it is. I'm almost 30 years old. and he, showing you all their scars of previously where they got shot. Nothing about a higher power, right and wrong, that never comes out of their mouth. Right and wrong, that does not come out. This country was based on those principles of Scripture.
Mm-hmm.
It was based on that. I think that's why we have lasted so long, that we have grown, that people want to come to this country. Thousands of people want to come to this country, and you're going to mess with the Constitution?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that has kept us steady for how many hundreds of years? Made us different?
Absolutely. I mean, these things are irrefutable. And that doesn't mean that we're being dismissive or refuse to acknowledge bad and error.
Right.
But the good aspects they're self-evident.
We said the forefathers set up a stable government. That they knew we'd break the rules, break the law, because we're human beings. But that rock was still there.
Mm-hmm.
That rock was still there. And you take away that rock and we're a free-for-all. We're just a free-for-all.
Well, as we press our way on and see what happens, former councilwoman and former council president Arjo Wench, she always says, all politics is local. And it is. We live where we live. We don't live in California. Now, I live in Hartford, Connecticut. You might actually live in California because you can watch this all over the country. But nonetheless, you live where you live.
Right.
And the politics where you live affects your life much more than something way far off. And so if you don't like the way things are going, you have to get engaged where you live because you can make an immediate change in those areas.
Yes, the President of the United States, the election, that's not the most important election. For you, when you live in Hartford, Connecticut, this is the most important election. These are the most important. Mm-hmm. These are the ones that are going to affect your life immediately.
Absolutely.
Immediately. And who you vote for city council is extremely important.
I'd say the council race is, if I wasn't a candidate, I would say that the council race is more important than mayoral race. And to many degrees, I still have to hold to that because they're the ones that, do the ordinance. They're the legislative branch for the city. They hold the executive branch accountable.
If they will.
They hold all of the executive branch departments accountable. They can have hearings, financial hearings. There's so many different ways to hold department heads and other departments that deliver things accountable. Mm-hmm. If everyone is doing their job, if everyone understands that their failure to do their job brings a consequence to everyone in the city.
And your town committee is very important.
Absolutely.
Very important. I didn't know how. Of course, I didn't even hardly know what a town committee was before I got on it. But after I got on it and I realized something, I didn't know how very important the
town committee is extremely important.
Is to our everyday lives, and that is the part that we can all take part in.
They're really the governing body of the party, the town committee. So if there's a super personality in the town committee that controls the town committee, then they become the super governance of the party. But the town committee members are really that entity. So, they're the ones that endorse your candidates. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I upset some of the people by saying that I was going to try to get the endorsement. I've never played by the rules.
Oh, so you're playing by the rules now?
Oh, we're gonna play by the rules. Yeah. So we're gonna come strong and try. We're going to actively engage and try to get the party endorsement. I like impossible tasks. Moon mission. So the moon mission. How do you get to the moon? How do you get to the deepest part of the sea?
Oh my God.
The moon mission. Right.
Oh my gosh.
And so since a lot of them have been committed, the moon mission would be to go out there and take the support away from the candidates that, in theory, have it. Because they don't have it yet. Because we all know that at the convention, anything can happen.
Anything at all. Oh my gosh, that is the most exciting time.
Yeah.
The convention.
A hot time in the old town.
And so your stomach, especially if you're really into, your stomach is in knots until this thing. Even after it's over, your stomach's still in knots.
High tension, the suspense, real suspense is
and
really.
then all of a sudden, people get up and start walking around and talking to people and this and that and the other thing. Say, hey, and have their little pad and their little pencil and they just go around. I'm looking. That's the same thing we see in Congress when we looking at those.
Oh yeah.
The same thing that happens at the annual meeting at the church. The same exact thing. We are the same from the church. The conventions are the same.
Mm-hmm.
The town committees, Congress, is the same. The little people with their pencils running around talking to people. And with churches, you haven't seen anyone in 20 years, but now it's voting day. Yeah. They had all of them. The church is packed. The church is packed now. You're gonna have a congregational vote or something, and the church is packed.
The general meeting.
General, you haven't seen these
We need
people
to
forever.
vote. I need everyone to come and attend. Your pastor's up for bishop. Let me
They all
stop.
there.
Let me make everybody mad. All right.
gosh.
Well, we're out of time, Miss Cleo.
Okay.
So you have a great weekend. And
I plan on. It's gonna be a prayerful weekend. I'm gonna pray through all this work as I'm moving. I keep saying, Lord, just keep me moving. It'll get done.
all right.
Yes.
All right, my friends, you all have a great rest of your day. If you want to drop us a line, the email address is on the screen. morningtalk@accesstv.org. We will see you here next time. You all have a blessed rest of your day. Bye.
Every bad political decision is made by a politician elected to office. So if you think your vote doesn't matter, just remember this. There are people sitting with politicians in a back room making deals about your future, making policies about your children, making decisions about your neighborhood. To them, you are just a vote. You are not their charity. You are not their cause. You are just a vote. Elections have consequences, and if you don't vote, you are actually voting to keep these people in power to work against you. Now, more than ever, you need to make your vote count. It is time to clear the air and vote for a mayor who is unbought, unbossed, trusted, and accountable to you, the constituent. My name is J. Stan McCauley. I am an independent thinker, and I approve this message. I'm asking you for your vote for mayor of the city of Hartford. For more information, visit McCauleyformayor.com. Declare your independence from the plantation of party politics and free your political mind.